Hi everyone, Gary here with your Blue Nose Bulletin for Friday the 7th of June 2024 here on the 4th Officials YouTube channel. Hi, I'm Gary and I'm here with all of today's news, including a brand new title sponsor for the SPFL, some restructuring in the Women's Premier League, all the latest transfer rumours and news regarding the setup for the Scotland squad going into next week's Euros. Now, before we kick off, a big thank you to everyone that's joined us over the course of the last 24 hours. A massive increase in terms of subscribers over the last 24 hours. So thank you for joining us. I hope you enjoy the content here on the channel going forward. Okay, this morning, the SPFL announced a brand new title sponsor going into next season. Now, everyone will know that Cinch, well, the previous title sponsors, but that was a deal that came with lots of controversy given the issues that Rangers had regarding the commercial agreement they already had in place with Parks of Hamilton. So from next season, the league will now be part of a 5-year sponsorship deal with the bookmakers William Hill. They'll be taking over as the title league sponsor for both the Premiership, the Championship, and Leagues 1 and 2. SPFL Chief Executive Neil Doncaster stating that William Hill is a name long associated with Scottish football, and we are enormously excited to have reached a long-term record-breaking agreement with our new title sponsors. This is tremendous news for our clubs and their fans, for the profile of our league, and for Scottish football in general. Now, that previous deal with Cinch was said to be due roughly around about 1.6 million per year, and that original 5-year deal was ended 2 years early. Partly to do, I think, with the fallout from the Rangers situation. But with William Hill stepping in now, that is a record-breaking deal, believed to be in the region of around about 2 million per year. So not certainly big money when you look at the money that's being spent in other leagues for sponsorship deals, but certainly from a Scottish perspective, it's the best deal that has been done ever in terms of naming rights for our main leagues. We'll bring into question, obviously, regarding Neil Doncaster's role. Certainly seems an easy option to go out to market. Now, the search for that title sponsor was led by Scottish Football Marketing, which is a joint venture between the SPFL, the Scottish FA, and the Scottish Women's Premier League, and certainly looking to try and raise the profile of all the main Scottish competitions with increased sponsorship and increased money coming in through the leagues. So certainly from next season, new sponsorship to watch out for. Last night, there were news regarding changes to the league setup for the Scottish Women's Premier League, effective from season 25-26. They will be reducing the number of matches in the top flight, going from a 12-team league down to a 10-team league. So maybe 2 leagues of 10. Means at the end of next season, there will be relegation for the bottom 3 in the top league. The team finishing first in SWPL2 will be promoted, and then there will be playoffs between the teams finishing second, third and fourth in the SWPL2 and 9th in the Premiership. What that does is it reduces the number of games in the top flight from the season after next. Still be a split, so there are going to be the top 6 and the bottom 4 will split after 18 matches when everyone will play each other home and away. The teams in the top section will play each other home and away again. It means teams in the top 6 will play 28 games overall. That's down from the current 32. And teams in the bottom 4 will play 24 matches. So that's quite a drop from where they currently are at the moment. And got to be honest, it's a move that has confused a lot of supporters of Scottish women's football, and I'm delighted to announce that next week we'll have a special podcast on our Patreon site with Robert Watson, who is the head coach of Hamilton Academical's women's football team. Now, long-term listeners of the Fourth Official will know that we spoke to Robert at the beginning of last season as Hamilton Academicals were gearing up for their season in SWPL 1, a season that would end in relegation for Hamilton Academicals. So very keen to get his take on this kind of restructuring, what it means for teams like Hamilton Academicals. But it's a change that's been ratified by the board following Wednesday's annual general meeting. So, yeah, watch with interest on that one. But again, seems a bit strange that you're going to have teams in the same league not playing the same number of matches. So I don't know what that means for sales of season tickets, or whether they need to go out with two different lots of season tickets up till that original split after 18 games. All rather confusing, and from my perspective, all a little bit unnecessary. I can absolutely understand the need to maybe reduce the workload, especially given that both Rangers and Celtic will be playing European football next season. Not quite sure that the league have got the balance quite right there. So, yeah, we'll watch with interest on that one. Okay, last night we dropped the news regarding James Tavernier having interest from a couple of different clubs in Saudi Arabia. No further update on that one for you today, folks. Although one name that we did talk about yesterday was the Bayern Munich youngster Youssef Kabadai, and reports continue to link Kabadai with a move to Rangers. He's believed to be in London presently, and that talks may well be happening with Rangers over the course of the weekend, with both a loan deal with Bayern holding an option to extend his contract and a permanent move, both potentially in the works. So, yep, a player who certainly seems to be highly rated by the club. We spoke yesterday about those links between Rangers and Bayern Munich. So, looks as if there may well be a deal to be done there. We'll watch with interest on that one. Another name that we've seen a lot of talk about is the Kosovan striker Ramdani, who currently plays with Rapid Bucharest. Now, there's a story that was doing around 2-3 weeks ago, and reports coming out of Kosovan media last night suggesting that there's a €6 million bid coming in from Rangers for the Kosovan striker. Seems a very big price. Sparta Prague also believed to be in the race for him, but they've allegedly got an offer of around about €2.5 million in for him. So certainly nowhere near the money that allegedly is on the table from Rangers on that one. Whether or not that's a deal that can be done, maybe waiting on money coming in from the likes of Sam Lammers going out, we'll watch with interest on that one. But certainly seems to be a player that is interesting Rangers. I wouldn't be surprised at all to see us bringing a striker in during the transfer window. Now, tonight sees the final game for Steve Clarke's Scotland side before they head off to Germany for the Euros. A week tonight for that tournament opener against the host nation, Germany. They take on Finland at Hampden tonight, and news broke yesterday that allegedly the two players that are going to be missing out from Steve Clarke's squad are going to be the Hearts goalkeeper Craig Gordon and Rangers defender John Souttar. Now, you'll know that Souttar has missed obviously the last 3 games of the league season through injury, and although he's been training with Scotland over the course of the last week or so, it's deemed that he's probably not fit enough and is unlikely to have any part in tonight's game against Finland, and he's likely to be the one that misses out as Steve Clarke drops that 28-man squad down to 26. Yesterday, former Celtic winger Lewis Morgan, who's currently playing out in MLS in America, was called up to the squad, as was young Bristol City striker Tommy Conway, who's came in formerly Ben Doak, and Lyndon Dykes dropping out due to injuries. So, yeah, we'll be watching with interest tonight to see how Scotland get on against Finland. And over the course of the weekend, we'll have all the coverage from the international tournament games as we build up towards the Euros starting next week. And on that note, final plug for our big launch night on Monday, as our show Draft Sevens goes live here on the YouTube channel at 8:30 p.m. It's going to be an interactive show, and we hope very much that you can join us for that one. Until then, I hope you enjoy your weekend, enjoy the football tonight, I'll speak to you over the weekend. Goodbye.